And here are the standings after 7 rounds in the FIDE Candidates Final 2016. A lot of names for it. Some people call it the World Chess Candidates Final, Chess Candidates Final. Either way, tied for first, Sergei Karyakin from Russia, Levin Aronian from Armenia. Third place, former world champion Vichy Anand. Vichy won the last candidates. Nobody thought he could do it. He did it last time. He's right up in the hunt again. Caruana from the United States and Anish Giri from the Netherlands with 3.5. Peter Svidler from Russia and my buddy from the U.S., Carl Nakamura, with 3. Go Carl, he got his first win. He beat Veselin Topalov. And he's on the bottom with 2 points. So there you have it, folks. These standings after 7 rounds, the halfway point in the tournament. It's a 14-round tournament. Hi, folks. John Cordisco back again. Round 8 of the Candidates Final 2016, also known as World Chess Candidates Final, between the two Americans. As white, my buddy from the U.S., Carl Nakamura, and as black, great American player, Fabiano Caruana. Let's get to it. It's going to be a Berlin, but it's an anti-Berlin. And we'll see with the D3 right there makes it an anti-Berlin, so you won't see the usual endgame already, which makes for fireworks. Bishop takes, D takes, knight comes up, castles, queen E2. I like this setup for white, frankly. It's almost like an exchange, really a little paying away, but you take with the D pawn. For black, but you're going to see something I think is something new. Openings are very much like fashion in the fashion world. Well, there's fashion and style in chess. And I think you're going to see rook d8. You're going to see in a couple of moves. Knight c4. Knight. Bishop d2. Bishop d6. And then white castles long. Now, I don't see that much in the Berlin. I think that's something new. This reminds me very much of a Sicilian setup now. We're going to see the pawn storm on either side. White's going to attack black on the king side, and black's going to attack white on the queen side. b5. And Carl goes right forward right away. Knight d3. a5. Here comes the other pawn. Carl's not wasting any time. When you're attacking, you can't waste time. Knight f5. a4. Bishop g5, which is very interesting, basically forces f6. And now bishop e3. Now, I didn't get a chance to see the press conference between these two, but my understanding of Carl pretty much had this worked out, but bishop back to d2. And if you, I don't want to go into the subtle differences, but if you go to Danny King's YouTube channel, I believe it's called Play Chess Channel, he has a very good, very good at analyzing the small nuance between bishop d3 and bishop e3 and d2. He's very good anyway. I encourage you to watch his channel as well. Knight c5, g4. Now, the computer calls for a3 right away. I don't know. Do you really want to? He'll probably go b3, and he go bishop b6. And that's probably the way he should have went. But he went bishop b6 first, allowed the king to move over one. He still should have went a3. But Carl went b4. Now, this looks really menacing. Really menacing. But the weird part is you can stop the video here and analyze it on a board or get your computer out. As menacing as this looks, there's not much here. And you're going to see what happens. g5. Again, the computer calls for a3. But Carl goes b3 instead. Rook h to g1. Now we've got some problems here. You can see right away Pawn takes, queen has to take. Could be some problems. B takes A2 check. King to A1. Now my computer off screen has got black just a little under a pawn advantage. I got Fritz 11 in case anybody's wondering what the program is. And we'll just continue on. Bishop takes, which was also the computer's move. E takes. There's two choices on the computer here, and I agree with the first one. King H8. Just get out of the pin. That's potentially from the rook on the G file. Or A3 to Carl. Chooses A3. Now he goes B3. Black still has an advantage. He just has to be careful. Now it's white's turn to attack. Now, Carl at this point has to be so discouraged. Such a huge attack. Look at both of these pawns here. What's really happened is white is using black's pawns against him. Black's pawns are now shielding the white king. Put yourself in Nakamura's mind now. His preparation, even though it served him well, but didn't really come out with the results that he had wanted. And he did win the last round against Topalov. Topalov sacrificed the bishop, and Naka pulled it out. But he lost 2 games prior to that. One on a miscue, where he touched his king without realizing it against Aronian. He lost that endgame. And he sacrificed a knight against Karyakin. And it was a complete blunder. He completely misplayed it and couldn't see it through. And here you are, when you had a really good preparation and a really exciting game. Yes, against your compatriot. And he needs to win this. And Fabiano needs to win, but not as badly as Nakamura. Fabiano has had 7 draws now. Nakamura is not doing too well. He's got 1 win. And here's your position. I mean, you know, Naka's made a steal. He's played a gazillion tournament games, even at high level. And I don't think this tournament is over his head. I really don't. But psychologically, I don't know what's going on with him. I really don't. Knight to A6 by Nakamura. Now the computer liked King H8 again or F8 just to get out of that G file. Knight to D7 is actually the other computer choice, which is really interesting. Must be the computer is looking somehow to sacrifice here, maybe. Not sure. Knight to A6 anyway. And just a simple move. The computer likes D4, but I thought Fabiano's move was very good as well. Just plain old C3. Now what that does, it keeps the knight from coming here. Bishop F8. Maybe not the most accurate move in the world. Maybe I'm splitting hairs. I think Bishop E7 was better. King H8 maybe. Rook F8 even. Because the attack is pretty much fizzled out now. So now he's got to start worrying about the attack that Fabiano has. But he goes Bishop F8. Maybe that's what he was doing. Knight to D2. F takes. Rook takes. Knight to C5. It's still a tight game. Rook to G3. And this is where I think he errors. What he should have played, he played E4. And there's about a 1.5 advantage now for white immediately. He probably should have played queen takes D3, queen takes, knight takes. That goes into an endgame with a slight advantage for white, but that's not what he wanted. He wanted to win. And so he went E4 going for it. And that was his doom. Bishop takes, knight takes. Bishop d6. Now rook h3. Now look at what black's king. Bishop e5. d4. Bishop's got to come back. Rook g1. I mean, what's he going to do here? c5 maybe? He goes rook b8. And that's the end. If he had gone c5, after queen checks, king h8, knight takes, yeah, it still really sucks for him, but it's over. He didn't want to go to the end game. Slightly worse. He was going for the win. And this is the price you pay sometimes. Now Fabiano takes the a-pawn. He goes bishop there. Rook g4. He goes queen d5. And c4, of course. That's a disaster. And that's where Carl Nakamura, the U.S. champion, resigns. Give you an idea. After queen takes, rook takes. You know, you're down a full piece with absolutely no compensation. Tough break for Naka. We'll see how he does tomorrow in the next round. That puts Fabiano Caruana in the second place. We're half a point behind the leaders. The only consolation I make from this game as an American is the full point was gotten by an American. I'm a big Nakamura fan. Anybody who watches my YouTube channel knows that. I'm very disappointed, but I'm sure nowhere near as disappointed as Nakamura is. But he's a great player. He'll bounce back. So there you are, folks. There's, I think, is the best game from round 8 of the World Chess Candidates Final 2016. I hope you enjoyed it. Heart's a little sunk today, but oh well. As I always say, if you think chess is just a game, you're not playing it right. Take care, folks. Bye-bye.